Hello to my beautiful family of light. Yes, that means you. Hi, my name is Claudia and I want to welcome you to my channel. I'm happy that you're here. This is a series of videos that I call my soul's journey from clueless to awareness. And I've posted 50 or so videos. There's a lot more than that, but in this series, there's about 50 videos that begin the end of September 2023 up to the present, and it has to do with what I call the first half of my life. And these videos are all about clues and tips and observing how when the source is nudging you to listen to something or to pay attention or to ask questions, that nudging comes from in here. You don't feel right about something. It's like, this is quite, I don't know, or you're swimming upstream and the current's too strong and you're not getting anywhere. So you keep bumping up against things. Anytime there's resistance, then we're fighting against what our source has in mind for us. So that's what these videos are about, and I'm just using my life as an example for you. It isn't about my life exactly, because you've got your life and your soul's journey. It's about what is behind you, nudging you along, encouraging you to look over here or not go in that same direction again. So, okay, with that in mind, I want to tell you I left off with the last video and having gone on a trip with a local guide into the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and in this area they're known as the Absarokas, and saw wildlife and revisited lots of the places that I absolutely fell in love with. I learned how to fly fish out here and how to learn animal tracks and scat and all kinds of things. And a little city girl, I'm 5'4", by the way. This little city girl just absolutely learned to love the wilderness, and as such, just didn't want to go, but things happen, right? Okay, everything has happened up to this point. I'm 42 years old. I've gone on this adventure for a weekend with my girlfriend, and the guide had another couple that went along, and we all had a great time. Okay, I get a call on Wednesday to meet the individual, the guide that had taken us, and he'd taken pictures of everybody and wanted to give me my packet. He did. And he felt connected to me, and I just felt it was a pickup line. So from there, and that's in the most recent past video. Well, I did do an update of what that 40 years was about in between these two. Okay, he calls me on Friday, and this is the nicest man. He's a local guide, 4th generation in the area. His family has the first, authorization for guiding in Yellowstone Park, and it goes all the way back to the late 1800s, early 1900s, when they would take wagon trains of people up for camping, tenting, all the cooking done outdoors and whatnot. And he's just a delightful person with all kinds of stories, and no stranger. He knows no strangers. So he calls me on Friday and he said, I would like for you to come to dinner on Saturday. Would you want to do that with me? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm leaving in 2 weeks, maybe just a little over 2 weeks. Why would I want to do that? And the answer came back that there's no reason not to. And so I said, sure, that'd be great. And he gave me his address and what time to show up. And so Saturday, I went over to his house to have dinner. And he met me at the door and took my coat, and then I handed him a bottle of wine that I had brought, and we went into the kitchen where he was preparing a prime rib, stuffing it with garlic and all kinds of stuff. I didn't cook much. I wasn't a very good cook. Let's call it that way. Anyhow, he had poured me a glass of wine, so I had a couple sips and watched for a minute. I set the glass down and I said, well, is there anything I can do to help you? And he looked at me and he said, sure. And so he gave me a knife and chopping block to do some garlic and a couple of other things. And after that was done, I said, well, what's next? And he said, well, you can make the salad. And so I said, okay. So the refrigerator was right there, and I began heading towards it, and he shifted out of the way, and I came back and then had to reach for this or reach for that. And the next thing I know, I'm experiencing something I don't know what it is. I can tell you today that it was akin to memories, old memories. But as we're working side by side in the kitchen, there's this big, beautiful, beautiful butcher block square, not very big. This is a fairly small place, but we're working around each other as if we're dancing. We're dance partners who have been doing this for, I wrote down, 1,000 years. And when we were just in sync. It was harmonious. It was just like, I don't know how to describe it. It was such an ease and harmony and a flow to it. And when we were done getting everything assembled and the prime rib went in the oven, we went into the living room and sat down to talk and to enjoy our wine. And he talked. He was very easy going, and lots of questions, and he just made it easy. It was simple and easy. And as we spent a couple of hours and two glasses of I sipped on my wine because I'm not much of a drinker, but and he may remember this differently, I'm sure, because everybody has their own perception. Anyhow, after the time was up and the timer went off and the meal was prepared and we sat down, had another glass of wine with supper, and he's still just easily talking about all kinds of things in his life. And his home is like a museum. So, I had toured a little bit with him before dinner was ready. When it was done, and we were still talking, and when we retired to the living room and had a little bit of brandy, and just enjoyed each other's company so much. And when all was said and done, and I had to work, was it work the next day? I had a commitment Sunday, I believe. And so it was time for me to go. He got my coat and, told me what a delightful time he'd had, and off I went. And that night, while I'm brushing my teeth and washing my face and getting ready for bed, thoughts are running through my head about how we had been together in that dance in the kitchen and how unusual that is. I'm easygoing. I'm always helpful, and happy to be helpful. I was 10 people in our family, and I was the oldest daughter, so I knew all kinds of things to do. But I went to bed. When I tucked in, I thought, isn't that interesting? I feel some kind of a connection there that I don't understand. And so, I went to sleep, had a great night's sleep, and on to the next day, and to work on Monday. And on let's see, that week he called and we went and did something together. I can't remember what it was. Went and looked at tires for him or something. It was just nice I didn't know why I'm attracted to this person, and yet I'm leaving. I'm leaving the area within a couple weeks. I'm just wrapping things up and getting packed and all that kind of stuff. So I don't have much time to spend with anybody, and I'm certainly not looking to get involved with anybody before I go. Anyhow, it was by Wednesday or Thursday, and he had called me every day, and he said it was Friday, excuse me, and I had a feeling I was writing at my desk, and all of a sudden it was like 3:45 in the afternoon, and I thought, I need to call Bob, and I thought, well, don't do that, but the thought would not go away, and at 3:50 I called, and I said, you're supposed to get up now. What an odd thing to say. And he groggily kind of looked, and he went, oh my gosh, he said, I'm going to be late for my appointment. How did you know? I said, I don't know. Anyhow, that's how it started for us on Monday. So we're only talking just we've only had two visits or something, and a couple of phone conversations on Monday. I go into work, it's 8 o'clock, and I go to my desk, and I'm sitting there preparing work and looking at the work I have to do, and I hear him talking. And he's talking to somebody while he's driving along, and he's telling a friend that he's met this woman, and he doesn't know why, but he just feels the strongest connection with her. Now, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the conversation, and then all of a sudden, I pop in, and I can see I'm in between them. I'm in the back seat of a pickup. And I'm looking at the road. I know exactly where they are on their travels, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't be doing this. And I come back into my body, and their conversation goes on, and after about 15-20 minutes, I get up and I go in the bathroom near my office, and I said, you have to stop talking about me. I can't get any work done, because I can hear it. I hear the conversation, and I can see him in my mind's eye, kind of cocking his head in his ear and looking in the rearview mirror, and he's like, oh, okay. That was it. And so that is the kind of connection we have. Now, I'm not going to learn about things, about this connection for another several years down the road. But the next time, oh gosh, when was it? We start sharing meals. I've got 2 weekends to go. And on now it's Friday night, that next Sunday, I drove down to Shoshone through is it the Wind River Canyon? No, along the Wind River, excuse me. And to see, I'm going to a church down there, and this little church congregation has about 85 people in it, and the youngest one is, I think, 72, and I'm 42, right? And I'm the special music. I sing to them a cappella, no practice. I just pick a hymn and sing that for them, and they're always delighted. Well, coming back from that, and it's Sunday, I have it's October. Is it October? Yeah, it is. It's October, and I was supposed to leave, but I'm not ready yet. So I'm coming back from that up the canyon, and off in my peripheral vision, I see massive big boulder, which in the thawing of some ice in a sunny day, some of the ice lets loose and it tumbles down. It lands and goes underneath my car, picking it up and rolling it over. And that's where I'm going to leave you for this particular episode. I could go on for hours, as you can tell. So you know, I'm supposed to be leaving, and now there's some more things happening. So I'm happy to have you here today. It's so much fun for me to retell my stories, and where they are leading is to an awareness, but we're not there yet. So thank you for joining me. The two things that you can do that help me is to like and subscribe. You don't even have to you can get notices about the videos that are coming up, but you don't have to. You can flip that switch. But that helps me when you like and subscribe to get my stories out, my soul's journey information out. So I want you to know I love you this much. This is a huge, big hug that goes all the way around you and this earth. Love yourself. Be good to each other and be good stewards of this planet. And until I see you when I do the next video, I want you to be safe, stay healthy, be happy, and know that you're way more than you think you are. Thank you for joining me.